Wow, we have more people joining. Let's let them in and then we can go ahead and start. All right.
Are you guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Oh, good.
Okay. Oh, okay, I see the screen. Nah, I still don't see any people. Oh, I see. Okay, I see it. I see your screen sharing, so I was confused.
Okay, all right. I would say, Kira, let's get started.
Yeah. Is everyone ready? Perfect. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our sixth travel webinar, travel inspiration webinar, actually. We are so glad that you're here with us today. We are hosting a travel inspiration webinar every 2 weeks, and our goal is to give you guys ideas on great destinations in the world that you can travel to, including special tips and tricks from the JoinMyTrip team. And today we're taking you to Portugal, a very popular vacation destination even right now, because everything is being slowly opened after being restricted for quite a while, which I think is really exciting. Wow. English is not my strong suit today. Wow. So I'm Kira and I'm from JoinMyTrip, and I will be one of your hosts tonight. And I also have my lovely co-host Anna with me today, and she has already been to Portugal multiple times and was always fascinated by this beautiful country.
Yeah, that's true. Hi guys, thanks for joining tonight. So yeah, when I was living in Spain and working as a tour guide, we always did weekend and day trips to the Algarve from Seville because it's only like a 2 hours ride. And to be honest, the first time I still remember when I was there, I got out of the bus, we reached the beach, and I was literally like flashed because I would have never imagined something so beautiful, like just around the corner from Spain. Not that Spain is not beautiful, but the beaches on the Algarve are just absolutely incredible. So yeah, last year I actually spent 5 weeks in Ericeira, which is a city close to Lisbon, and then also 4 weeks at the Algarve. And I went working there. So yeah, I'm so happy that tonight I can share some of my experiences and also secret tips with you. So we're looking forward to that.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to get started.
Yes, but before, just out of curiosity, let's do a quick poll to see how many of you have already visited Portugal before. My colleague will start the poll and you can, yeah, now just rate. Let's see. Wow, looks like the majority hasn't been. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, looks like only 20% has been already. So that means we do have a lot of people here that are still really don't know a lot about the country. So yeah, even more fun. So I would say, anyways, you're going to have a lot of good experiences tonight, and you're going to have a lot of new tips and tricks that we will share.
But before we start, we'd like to share some house rules with you. We would like to remind you guys to keep yourself muted while not speaking during this webinar. If you're not sure how to do it, there's a button in your left corner on the bottom of your screen right now. But no worries, you can also ask questions at the end of the webinar or in the chat if you have, and we will answer them at the end of the webinar, and our chat management will give their best to answer all of your questions that arise throughout the webinar. We also want to ask you to please use the chat respectfully, but I think that is a given. And also, if you want to share your feelings at any time, please use the reaction buttons that you can also find in the bottom row of your screen. Yeah, let's try them out right now. What do you say, Anna?
Yeah, let's give it a try. Are you guys ready for tonight? Ooh, I see some stars and yay, nice. All right. Seems like everybody's ready for tonight.
So I'm so excited. So glad you guys are here. For those of you who are joining us for the first time today, we'd like to give you a short introduction on what JoinMyTrip actually is, who we are, and why we're putting up these webinars. Anna, why don't you tell people more about what's happening here?
Sure. So I think you guys know that problem that you really want to go to a specific country or do a specific trip, And then you were like super excited about it, and you started asking around your family, your friends, and we're like, yeah, you want to go with me? And then in the end, everybody's like, no, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't want to visit this country, or I don't like your travel style. And then in the end, you end up not going. And we realized that actually a lot of people are facing this challenge. And this is why we created the platform Join My Trip. And yeah, this is a platform where we connect trip leaders and trip mates, where the trip leaders are the ones organizing and planning the trip, and then publish the trip on our platform. And interested trip mates that also love to travel but are not so much into that planning part can join the adventure. And together you travel, you share travel costs, moments, and you come home with new friends. And another advantage is that as a trip leader, for organizing the trip, you can actually earn some money with it so you can fund your travel.
Really, whatever your budget is, wherever you want to go, or whatever type of travel activity you prefer, there are so many different options and opportunities. And we're sure you'll find someone on the platform that wants to join your trip. You decide whether you like to be the one organizing, or just simply want to pack your bags and join along on another trip. And currently, our community is 140,000 members strong, and we're ever growing. So we represent the world's biggest community of trustworthy travelers right now.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why, especially right now, where the world is kind of like still a bit crazy and not as it was before, we're putting together these events so yeah that we can have a place to connect with other fellow travel lovers and empower you guys to just explore the world together. And if you now would like to know a bit more, just feel free to check out our website. We will post a link in the chat for you guys so you can give it a look. So Kira, do you want to give our audience an overview about what we will talk about tonight?
Yeah, sure. Today we're introducing Portugal to you. If you like beaches, you're definitely in the right place here, because Portugal has more beaches than you can count. So what could be more perfect than an activity than surfing here? It is quite easy to rent a board on practically any beach in Portugal, or you can just join a school and learn how to surf.
Yeah, it's actually the best spots for surfers, especially also for beginners. And you have speeches for both like both levels. This is what makes it a great surf spot for anybody. And if you love beaches and action, but you don't like surfing, Kira, is there anything else you can do in Portugal?
Sure, you can go hiking. This would definitely be worth it, as you'll explore unpaved roads leading to spectacular views surrounded by beautiful nature, and you can find many hiking trails, especially in the south of Portugal.
Yeah, and of course, besides this, there are also stunning monuments all over the country, especially in Lisbon and Sintra. You can really see a lot of beautiful buildings. And just, I mean, in general, Portugal's cities are really, really colorful with original architecture and a really vibrant lifestyle. And it's just perfect for all the city trip lovers among you. And last but definitely not least, and especially for the two of us, Kira, one of the things I really love most about Portugal is wine. Besides my beloved Vinho Verde, that is like a white sparkling wine, also port wine is especially something for you to try. My tip might not be something for anybody, but I love it. Just mix it with tonic water and you can make a long drink out of it. And it's really something you should try.
That
So
sounds
moving,
really yummy.
yeah, maybe we can try it as soon as we can meet
Should.
again. So no, moving on to food, Kira. What are your favorite dishes in Portugal?
So let's begin with a popular starter, which is called caldo verde. This is a traditional soup made from potatoes, chorizo sausage, and thinly sliced kale. The next on our list is bacalhau. It is one of Portugal's most treasured dishes, and you'll find it everywhere you go. It uses many of the traditional ingredients found in Portuguese cooking, which is bacalhau, which in English is salt cod, eggs, potatoes, and black olives.
Oh wow, now I'm getting hungry.
Me too, but unfortunately there's more. We have bifanas, the traditional Portuguese sandwiches. Bifanas are made with thin slices of pork, which are marinated in a sauce of white wine, garlic, paprika, and then served on soft rolls with plenty of mustard and piri piri sauce.
Oh yeah, piri piri is that really spicy one. So for the ones that are not really, yeah, used to spicy stuff, really be careful with that. But I would say now it's yeah, onto desserts. So pastéis de nata. Some of you might know that delicious tiny thing. It's definitely a must eat when in Portugal. I'm not a I mean, I'm not a sweet person when it comes to food. But I think I had one of these every day, and it's basically a puff pastry filled with a custard made of cream, egg yolks, sugar, flour, and lemon zest. And you can literally find them anywhere in any street or bakery or little shop. And believe me, the problem is you will get addicted to them. And yeah, later on, I will show you the best spots to get them in Lisbon and also in Berlin. And next up is the pão de ló, maybe the best known cake in Portugal. This cake dates back to the 15th century, actually, and is with, yeah, as it is with all the Portuguese cake, it's very, very rich in eggs. And for the national drink, it would be obvious to mention wine, as I did already before. But yeah, if you have been to Lisbon, you have certainly came across Gin. The sour cherry liqueur is a tourist favorite and absolutely delicious. So yeah, of course, besides these dishes, there are many other dishes and food choices to make when you're in Portugal. I personally prefer also to have some fresh fish because yeah, Portugal is surrounded by the ocean. And this is why you always have really, really fresh fish. And there are a lot of family restaurants also that you can find anywhere in the country. So yeah, now enough about food. Otherwise, I definitely get too hungry. But Kira, what do we need to take into account before going to Portugal regarding the infrastructure?
So when it comes to accommodation, prepare yourself to go camping at least once. The nature is so beautiful and there are so many perfect places where you can hike and then just stay overnight. Just make sure that you check if you're allowed to put up a tent at your chosen place. Also, hotels can be quite expensive in the high season, so an Airbnb might be a good choice. The price range for them is really broad. The best thing to do is actually getting a nice big house or villa and to find some travel buddies to share your costs with.
Oh, I think I know a good website where you can find some travel buddies.
Oh, really? I've heard of it. I think it's called JoinMyTrip.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, next we're going to talk about transportation. So Portugal is generally offering a decent railway system and public buses that you can also take to some of the beaches. But Anna, let's do a road trip, right?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, for this, we definitely, obviously, we need to rent a car. So driving to the best spots and exploring on our own schedule. Alternatively, you can use a car sharing platform such as BlaBlaCar, for example, and carpool with other travelers. But yeah, talking about rental cars, we have a partnership with Billiger Mietwagen. That's a Germany-based company, a platform where you can book rental cars all over the world. And you're lucky enough that tomorrow at 7 p.m. CET, so Central European Time, we will publish our giveaway where you have the chance to win 3 times 200 euros for your next road trip in this summer. So yeah, make sure to click the follow button on Instagram now to not miss any chance tomorrow.
Oh wow, 200 euros is a lot, and it sounds so cool and nice of them. So now that we already know how to get around Portugal, how much money do we need for our trip to Portugal?
Yeah, let's see. So in general, prices are really depend on where you go and will be different in Lisbon than, for example, in the north or in some small and tiny village, as it's always. But we found some average prices to give you an idea. So a decent rent a car will cost you about 150 euros per week, and a coffee you can actually get for €1 or €1.50. And the most important, the pastéis de nata, you will usually get between 50 cents or €1. And actually, coffee and pastéis de nata is two things that in Portugal usually go together. So this is actually a must, the combination that you must buy together. And yeah, I mean, for food in general, you can get a really nice fresh fish with some fries and some salad for about €8. And the beer also costs you only about €2, for example. So in the end, Portugal is on the cheaper end of the scale. So yeah, it's definitely a great country to travel to if you want to save a bit money. So now we know what to eat, how to get around, and have info about the budget. So let's go over a few more tips before going on, Kira.
Yeah, sure. We're going to share them with you now. So as per visas, Portugal is part of the European Union. You naturally do not need a visa if you want to travel from one EU country to Portugal, and US citizens can stay up to 90 days without visa without visa as well if they are staying for tourism purposes, since it's part of the Schengen area. Also, we recommend you learn some Portuguese expressions to make your life a lot easier.
Yeah, actually, little tip there for the Spanish speakers among you. I can only recommend the Portuñol, which is basically a mixture of Spanish with some Portuguese sounds. I actually got along with it quite well, which was the reason why I didn't really learn a lot of Portuguese words. But I mean, in general, things like obrigada and hola are things that you should definitely learn.
Yeah, and these skills might also come in handy when you're at a restaurant. And talking about restaurants, tipping is also quite regarded in this country. You should tip about 5 to 10% of the total price in the end. Also, pack some comfortable shoes and some sunscreen. The pavement can be hard on your feet and the sun can be very strong even in the winter. And especially look at my skin, I get burned easily, so I have to go and get my sunscreen ready. Also, the peak season in Portugal is from June to August, where you can get really crowded and expensive, although the weather is nice most of the year.
I was actually there, I think in October and November last year. And I remember in November, we still went tanning at the beach. So I can only recommend.
Wow, that's really, really nice. And Portuguese people are also really relaxed, right? So we recommend you adopt to the culture, forget your worries, drink some ginja and meet some Portuguese friends.
Yeah, definitely. I think meeting the locals, that's always the best way to get all the secret tips and tricks. So I think now that we have all these tips, but you're probably wondering, how is the current situation in Portugal regarding the coronavirus? So we do have some current travel news for you. So the good news is that mainland Portugal and its regions are not a risk area at the moment, at least for Germans, because the numbers are really, really low. And if you want to travel to Portugal, it depends a bit on where you're coming from. People from countries with a really high incidence are not allowed to come to Portugal for touristic purposes. But if you're coming from a country that is not doesn't have crazy numbers, corona cases, then you're totally fine. However, in any case, you will need to present a negative PCR test taken within 72 hours before you arrive, or of course, now also like a vaccine certificate and the passenger locator form. But I think that's something that is actually quite normal by now. So, and also different regions have different restrictions regarding closing times of restaurants and cafes and like amount of people being allowed in different areas. But in general, restaurants and all that kind of stuff is open. Also, like bars and are slowly opening again, and things like theaters and cinemas as well. But it really depends on where you're going. So just make sure to check the official website of Portugal before, as it's also changing kind of like every day. But we are on a good and positive, on the way up the hill, I would say, in terms of openings, not in terms of numbers.
Does this opening also apply to the islands Madeira and the Azores?
No, actually, Madeira and Azores are still risk areas at the moment and have therefore their own regulations because they're also independent from the mainland. So they have official websites that are actually really good structured. You can find every information there.
So now that we have all the information that you need when traveling to Portugal, we want to introduce you to some specific places you could visit, and we will share a Portugal itinerary that was created by our lovely Anna.
Yes, I can't wait.
But first, let's all get a geographical orientation of Portugal, which is located in the southwest of Europe. The red bubbles you can see here show the itineraries of the trip, and we will present now. And we'll start in the capital, Lisbon. Where else?
Yes. So Lisbon is actually the perfect place to start your trip because it's the largest city in Portugal. And this is also has an international airport, which makes it really easy to get there for your trip mates from the whole world.
So how many times have you actually been to Lisbon, Anna?
Wow, good question. I think about 6 times, maybe even more. And to be honest, I would always go back. I just love the city. I love the vibes there. It's so beautiful, and there are always corners that I haven't seen. So yeah, always a city I would go back to.
I can imagine. And how many days would you recommend staying in Lisbon?
I would say at least 4. That would give you enough time to visit all of the main tourist attractions and experience, if open, the vibrant nightlife, savor the delicious regular dishes, and yeah, just leave with the lasting memories of this wonderful city. But if you also want to explore some things in the surrounding that we will show you later, I would also recommend you guys to stay for a bit longer. So you can also like take one time a car to explore some beaches in the area and all that kind of stuff.
So I have never been to Lisbon. What are the must-see things in this great capital?
There are many things to see and experience in Lisbon. I think even with all my restaurants, bars, and cafe tips, I could fill a whole webinar. So just I try to pick my absolute highlights. So definitely the first one is there are a lot of miradors, like the viewpoints in the city, but my favorite one is definitely Mirador Santa Catalina. Just grab a drink, go there and just enjoy the vibes. Usually they have some people playing the guitar and some people dancing, and it's just a really, really nice place. And then also the Quarta Alfama, it's a picture on the bottom right. It's a really, really my favorite quarter because there is no cars and you can just walk through the tiny streets, and it's just every house is really, really cute. And of course, also, yeah, Belém, the famous landmark of Lisbon, where you can also try the oldest bakery of the pastéis de nata. You usually have to wait in a line for a long time, but it's definitely worth it. So I can only recommend.
Isn't there also a place in Lisbon Center? You mentioned something before, I think.
Yeah, so there is a place actually right in the city center of Lisbon. I wrote down the name because I really don't know how to spell it. I think it's Montejaira or something similar. I wrote it down on the slide. This is a super famous bakery, and actually they're so busy that they bake new pastéis de nata every 5 minutes. So whenever you get there, you can make sure that you have some warm pastéis de nata in your bag. And yeah, besides this, also another restaurant tip. I think that's just one of the most unique restaurants I've been to. It's called the Food Temple. They only have I think 3 different dishes per day or per week, and so you don't have a big choice, which I really like because I usually can't decide. And the fun thing is they don't have tables; they only have stairs. So you're sitting on the stairs. And as always, my Alexa is talking to me in every webinar. 1 second. Alexa, Erinnerung aus. Okay. Oh, it's everywhere not the same, and I always forget to turn her off. So, anyways, coming back to my favorite restaurant. Yeah, this Food Temple restaurant is really unique. Really make sure to reserve a table, or not table, but a stair there before, because it's super, super crowded. And yeah, it's just a really nice atmosphere in that restaurant.
Besides these restaurant and foodie tips, are there any other cool things that one shouldn't miss?
Yes, definitely. As you can see the picture in the top right corner, it's the Alex factory. That's an old, really big area where you used to have a lot of factories. They are now empty, and they built basically like a cultural hub there. And on the weekends, you have a flea market and also like a general market where tiny shops from Lisbon and the area can come and have their small table and then sell their handmade stuff. And then there's a lot of food trucks, and this is just a really, really atmosphere. I think this could also be a really Berlinish spot, so it really reminds me of Berlin. So a lot of hipsters are going there. If you're going, make sure to go early because it usually gets really, really crowded.
Oh, wow. So much information, but I can't wait to go. What's the best way to get around the city? Do you have any tips?
Yes, of course. I mean, always the best thing to do is go by walking, because that's how you can explore the city the best. But for longer distances, like for example, if you want to go to Berlin or to the Alex factory, I would recommend the app Uber, because that's super convenient and also really cheap compared to cabs in Germany. But of course, you can't leave Lisbon without having doing a tram ride in one of those super famous yellow trams. I can only recommend to take the tram number 25. because this is a tram that goes from Alfama, the area that I already mentioned, to Graca, which is the oldest part of Lisbon. And if you enter at Matimunis, that's where the tram starts, you can also make sure that you get a spot, because usually it's really crowded because it's quite famous, but definitely is something you can't miss when in Lisbon.
That sounds like a plan. What are we doing next? What's next on our itinerary?
We are going to Ericeira. From Lisbon, we can either take the car or you can take the bus to the little small town. This nice thing about it, this is I think why I loved it so much, is that it's not so known by tourists, and it's a really small town for surfers and yoginis and digital nomads and just in general like young people. And it's just super, super beautiful, super clean, tiny, a lot of yoga places, vegan cafes and hostels and clubs and small shops and just amazing sunsets. So you can have an amazing time there.
So how many days would you recommend to explore Ericeira?
I mean, to be honest, Ericeira, the city is quite, I mean, it's not even a city. I think it's like a town, whatever, a small, really tiny city. You can basically walk around, I don't know, 2 hours or something to see everything, but it's not like there are a lot of like super famous landmarks, like for example, the Belém Tower. I think what makes the city so special is the atmosphere in that town. So I would definitely recommend to stay for a few days to just be able to absorb the vibes of the city and to get into that yogini surfer mode. To be honest, I ended up staying for 4 weeks. So it is kind of like addicting. So make sure you plan a bit buffer in your trip because I just really, really loved it there.
Alrighty, you staying forever there would be also a plan, I think. Do you have some pictures from your trip? And what were your highlights?
Yeah, of course I have some pictures. So as you can see, I think one of my highlights was definitely the sunsets at the beach directly in the city center. I don't know how Portugal is doing that, but the colors you have, the sky is showing after the sun is going down, I have never seen in any country that I've been to, and I have been to quite some. Absolutely incredible. And besides this, also there are some cool, also again, restaurants. One is like the Soldo Pizza restaurant. It's close to one of the beaches, and it's literally like a truck where they build pizza ovens inside. And then they put like lights everywhere, and like you can sit on tiny chairs, and then you sit outside and you can eat your pizza. And usually there's some live music going on, and it's especially nice if after a surf or something. And then also 2 girls from Czech Republic that do vegan events with vegan foods. They're called Luna Plants. You can follow them on Instagram. And that's also something super, super unique there. And I mean, I could go on with all the cafe tips, but these are, I think, my 2 highlights.
And you also mentioned some beaches before. What are your favorites?
I mean, to be honest, any beach that you can find within 15 minutes driving to the right or the left side from Ericeira is absolutely incredible. But my 2 favorite ones are Praia de Ribeira d'Ilhas. I'm really sorry for my pronunciation. This is the beach that you can see on the bottom right. It's really famous for surfers, and you have some stairs that you can walk down, so you have an amazing view over the whole city, or like the whole beach. And also Praia de São Julião, as you can see at the bottom picture. Again, here you can have, it's perfect for long walks and for sunsets, and just amazing.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And for all of you that are yoginis out there or want to become a yogini, we have a trip for you. Here's a trip by Ricardo, one of our trip leaders. He's organizing a nice yoga retreat by the ocean at the end of July. So book his trip if you're interested. The link is in the chat right now.
Yeah, I actually met Ricardo on one of the events with the vegan food girls, and he's so much fun. He's from Italy, and he's doing that just like from his heart. And so I can only recommend you guys. Ricardo is an amazing trip leader, and he loves yoga, so you're gonna have a good time with him.
So after we're done with the yoga, are there any day trips that you can recommend in the surrounding area?
Of course. One trip that I can definitely recommend is visiting Sintra. It's actually also something you can do from Lisbon as a day trip, so it really depends. It's a town, I think it's something I would have never expected. So close to so close to Lisbon, or in general to Ericeira. It's a city full of castles, but they all look completely different. You can see some pictures on the screen, and it's just absolutely incredible. My tip: either you go there really, really early, or you actually stay overnight to make sure to avoid all the tourists. So usually you have like buses arriving in middle of the day or something. So when you stay overnight, you have the chance to watch the sunset and also watch the sunrise, which are two things I think are super incredible, because Sintra is also located on the mountain, so you have a really nice view.
That looks so nice. It's like the perfect place for Instagrammers, right?
Yeah, guess why I was there. What a surprise.
I have actually never heard of this place before. Does anyone want to come with me? Show me with your reaction.
Oh yeah, I can see. Seems like you already have some travel buddies. Nice. Cool. Yeah, so also besides Sintra, there are also some two places I can recommend in the area. So you can combine that with a Sintra trip, or just do it as a separate trip from either from Lisbon or also from Ericeira. So this is one is Cabo da Roca. That's quite famous. That's a really, really nice viewpoint with a lighthouse where you have amazing views. But, and this is now, I then when I was there was still a super, super secret trip. I think 5 years later might be still a secret, but not super secret. It's Praia da Ursa. It's located next to Cabo da Roca. And this is an absolutely incredible beach where you have to kind of like hike/climb down to get there. So make sure to take some snacks with you, and also make sure to take some water. And make sure to not go in flip-flops as I did, because that was definitely something I regret.
Yeah, that sounds like a move I would do. Like just walking around in my Birkenstocks everywhere. Oopsie. All right, where are we going next?
Next we're going to Algesur in the south of Portugal. And if you are in love with beaches, surfing, amazing sunsets, and hiking, Algesur is definitely the right place for you.
Oh, really? That's a secret gem then. How do we get there?
Yeah, as mentioned before, we really recommend renting your car when in Portugal, because road tripping there is just so, so cool. And this would be kind of like the longest drive in the trip, so it would take you about 3 hours. Alternatively, you can also take the bus and complete the trip within 5 hours, but the car is definitely more convenient.
And do you have any highlights in Algesur and any pictures? Probably yes. You always have pictures.
Yes, there you go. So I think my highlight was definitely Praia de Monte Clerico. This is the beach that you see at the bottom right. And from there, you can hike, I don't know, I think it's like 4 kilometers or something to Riba Tarifana. And it's basically a hike along the coast. And you just always hike along the coast. And it's absolutely incredible. You have spectacular views, like the one on the top right corner. And that was definitely the perfect Saturday that we spent there. And also Praia de Orifana, as you can see at the top, it's a super beautiful beach. You have a lot of really nice Airbnbs, like basically built into the mountain. So you imagine you wake up in the morning, you open your balcony, and then you have a view over this amazing beach. So definitely really nice and perfect for surfers, and incredible sunsets.
That sounds amazing. I want to stay in such an Airbnb that you just described. Oh my God.
Yeah, I can only recommend. Or what you can also do, you can join our trip leaders, Ben and Elena, on their trip. They're actually living on a sailing boat and offering a sail, surf, and skydive trip on the Algarve, actually happening in 1 week already. I think they have one last spot left. So if you're interested and if you're spontaneous, check out the link in the chat, and maybe you can already be at the Algarve in a few days.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Skydiving. I'm out of there. But where are we going next? That's like the same question over and over again.
Yeah,
we are on the move.
We are on the way to Sagres, a bit more in the south, with more beaches, more waves, and more surfing.
That sounds amazing. What are your highlights in Sagres?
Yeah, I mean, Zagreb is definitely just a really cute town. You have a really cute laundry co-working cafe. I will have a photo for you later. Really nice beaches and yeah, a really calm atmosphere. And of course, you also have the famous, some of you might have heard about it, Cabo de São Vicente. It's the southwesternmost point of Europe, aka the end of the world. And yeah, if so, it's yeah, this crazy gust of wind there. So make sure to put a jacket in your backpack. And gorgeous sunsets, and definitely a place you should miss when visiting the Algarve.
Can't believe I'm asking this again. Do you have any pictures for us? And anything we
Yes.
definitely shouldn't miss?
Yes, and yes, and yes. So first of all, as I told you, the laundry lounge cafe, it's really a really cool co-working place slash laundry shop slash cafe slash chill out area. I don't know. It's just something you should have seen. And my favorite beach for sunsets is definitely Praia de Tonel. You can see it on the pictures. As you can see at the bottom, yeah, that were yeah was my co-working crew in November. We had a lot of fun, and it was kind of like a ritual that every Friday I think we went to watch the sunset together after finishing the week, the working week. And also really nice beach is the Bodera Beach, also famous among surfers and absolutely huge. So you can go 4 kilometers just for a beach walk. And yeah, that's in general, everything is amazing there, but these are my highlights.
So as you guys can see, renting a car has a lot of advantages. So make sure to take in part in that billigermietwagen.de special we have on our Instagram. Okay, but where are we going now, Anna?
Yeah, we're going to Praia da Luz. You can spend yeah just a few hours there, just walking around the city and enjoying some good restaurants at the beach before going to our next stop. But I actually, again, as for, same with Ericeira, I lived there for 2, I think even 3 weeks in a small apartment with other co-workers. And we just had an amazing time because it was just a cute little town. We, yeah, watched the sunrise at the beach in the morning, did some yoga sessions at the beach or in our little garden. And after work, we went for evening, yeah, walks on the promenade. And yeah, I really, really love Luz a lot.
That sounds like the perfect place on earth. Why did you even come back? Like,
I'm asking
why?
myself this question every day.
We're off to Lagos next, right?
Yes, Lagos is the biggest town at the Algarve, and we are taking a small break from beaches, well, kind of, sort of. It's yeah, Lagos is located 10 minutes from Luz. You can get there by bus, Uber, or just with your rental car. And there are a lot of yeah, beautiful little streets, cool restaurants, also some bars and clubs if they're open. And yeah, what I love the most about it is that there's a big community of digital nomads and a lot of co-working spaces, and also a lot of meetups happening. So that's just super, super cool.
It sounds really, really cool. I'd be in. Anything I shouldn't miss on my next trip?
Yes, I mean, definitely you should stop also at Ponta da Piedade and also at Praia Doña Ana. Remember when I said it was sort of a break from beaches? Yeah, you really can just spend a day in Lagos without at least yeah, ending a few hours swimming and chilling and relaxing at the famous Praia Doña Ana.
So I told you guys more beaches than you can count. And Anna, I have another question for you. Do you have pictures?
Yes.
Of course you do.
Yes, I do. So as you can see here, yeah, we do have like Luz where you can see all the nice beaches. Here you can see the sunrise and also like a really nice little church in Luz. So that's just a really beautiful area and a nice place to stop.
Okay, where are we going now?
We're going to Portimao after a long day in Lagos, and we can either stay there for a night or just yeah, just do a little walk around the city, visit the museum, and have a good time. And then after that, we are going to my absolute another beach surprise. This beach is called the Beach of the Three Brothers and is a can't miss with stunning hidden caves and a super, super herb sunset. It was actually our last stop before flying back to Germany. Guys, to be honest, I remember still when we were like walking to the top of the beach because you have to go down, and we were standing on the top of this on the cliff, and we were like, absolutely speechless. And you can ask my family, friends, and my colleagues. This literally almost never happens with me. So definitely my absolute favorite beach at the Algarve.
Okay, and since we're talking about favorite places, just for you guys to know, after we have answered all of your questions at the end of the webinar, we'll have an open round for you to share your personal favorites like tips, tricks, restaurants, or even if you ever had your best cocktail at some of the smallest, tiniest restaurants somewhere in Portugal, let us know. We really want to hear, but wait until the end of the webinar to tell us, Ben, so everyone can collect your tips.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So
Me too.
Talking about cocktails, actually fits to my next stop because that's Ferragudo. I think, to be honest, I mean, yeah, it's the most beautiful little town, village of the region. It's a little fishing town, and you have super cute little streets. You can have a walk on the coastline or across the harbor and have some fresh fish for lunch. And now we're coming to that cocktail part. I already see Kira's waiting for it. There is a club Nano, that is a beach club. They have amazing food, really good cocktails, and a DJ only on the weekend during the daytime. And that's really perfect to just chill and relax on the weekends.
Of course, there's a beach. We're in Portugal. You have pictures. Of course, you have pictures.
Yes. So as you can see on the top right-hand corner, you can see Ferragudo, a really picturesque little town. The Praia dos Três Irmãos, my favorite beach, and Happy Anna sitting at the beach, Portimão, and also the Club Nano. So definitely some stops you shouldn't miss when going there.
Basically, it's beach, beach, beach. Life's a beach. Where are we going next?
Last but not least, we are going to the Bengangir Caves. I think Instagram lovers, this is the last stop, and this will definitely be your favorite. Grab your waterproof phone covers because you're going to have to swim to get inside the famous Benangir cave. It will be worth the 5 to 10 minutes effort, but make sure before going that you check the tide because otherwise the cave is flooded. But I will promise you will have an amazing experience.
Yeah,
that was it. Basically, this is the end, almost, not yet. So we do have some more stuff.
Yeah, I really, really do want to go to Portugal now. I actually am thinking about it.
Yeah. So, I think before we do have some other stuff to share with our trip leaders. No, Kira?
Yeah, definitely. And I hope that we got our listeners excited to plan their own trip and to become trip leaders as well. If you don't know where to start, we can recommend you join our next trip leader webinar, which is happening tomorrow. Our colleague Zaina and our lovely Anna right here will be your hosts tomorrow and will give you a lot of input and information on how to set up the perfect trip on the JoinMyTrip platform. And we'll share the link in the chat right now.
Yeah, this webinar is always a lot of fun. And so many amazing trip leaders were born in these webinars and so many travel buddies were found. So really looking forward to tomorrow.
But don't worry, if you can't make it tomorrow, that's fine. You also have the option to check out the recording of the past webinar on YouTube. But of course, it's not as much fun as listening to the live part and having the option to ask all the questions that are burning in your soul at the end. So we'll post the link to the YouTube show right now in the chat so you can check that out as well.
Yeah, and if you want, you can also book a 15-minute slot in my calendar. I've already done many trips as a trip leader, and as you have seen, I've been to Portugal and I do have some secret tips. So I'm happy to share my knowledge with you in a one-to-one session. So we will share that link to my calendar right now so you can book yourself an appointment. So yeah, I mean, trip planning is one of my biggest passions, I would say. But in the last year, I discovered that CoWorking is another big passion.
Oh yeah, CoWorking. That's this new thing that everyone is doing right now. Moving the home office to places like Portugal.
Yes, and not only you can not only work from Portugal. I personally have worked remotely from Greece, from Gran Canaria in the past month, and to be honest, this way of living and working and combining these two things definitely changed my life and opened up so many new opportunities, and I got to know so many amazing people by doing that. But To be honest, Portugal is I think my favorite country to do co-working. One of the reasons is, yes, that it's beautiful, but also that the internet connection there is just absolutely incredible. And you never have to worry about a bad connection.
That sounds so cool. Didn't you just get back from a co-working trip?
Yes, but before we talk about this, I will just quickly explain our community what co-working actually is for the ones that might not know yet. Because I think in America or in Canada, you guys use the term working remotely or remote work. So it basically means that you're sharing living and working space with other remote professionals. And yeah, you share a nice villa with a big pool. You work from there, you cook together, you talk, you meet new people, you network. And then in your free time after work and on the weekends, you can explore the surroundings. And this allows you to keep, yeah, basically your COVID safe bubble because you're always together with that same group while living in a really nice and beautiful place, having palm trees outside of your window. And I think the thing that I love most about it is getting to know new people and exploring a new area without wasting your vacation days.
It sounds so cool. Which city would you recommend for co-working in Portugal?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend. I mean, I think for September, August is nice in Ericeira. The best month there with the weather because it's not so windy. But of course, Lagos, or to be honest, I prefer Luge, because we live directly at the beach and it's a bit tiny, a bit smaller, are the best places to go for co-working. And if you live in Luge, you can still go and attend all the meetups and meetings in Lagos because it's so close. And yeah, as I already said, the internet on the Algarve is just absolutely incredible. Even if the Wi-Fi in your Airbnb is not the best, you can get a little SIM card from Vodafone where you pay 30 euros for 60 gigabyte. And with this, you will have an absolute perfect connection. So that's just amazing.
Good internet? Where do I sign up?
Yeah, come and join. And I think you are talking about joining co-working trips. We do have a really cool co-working trip to the Algarve online right now, don't we?
Yes, our trip leader Kate just published a 2-week co-working trip on the Algarve. She has been living the digital nomad life for more than a year now and is an absolute Portugal expert and a good friend of Anna. So check out the link in the chat that Robin just posted if you want to go on a co-working adventure.
Yeah, I spent 5 weeks together with Kate co-working on the Algarve last year, October and November. And we actually just met last week again here in Germany for a small reunion. So I can 100% secure that with Kate, you will have the best time having her as a trip leader. So yeah, just go ahead and maybe send her a message and see if it's a fit, if it's a match in terms of trip mates. But if you say, okay, maybe don't have time end of May, I want to plan my own trip, we have a small surprise for you. So for anyone that is creating a trip on JoinMyTrip in the next 72 hours, we will give you a 40 euro voucher as your travel budget as a little, thank you from our side. So all you need to do is just publish your trip. As soon as you have received the link, you send an email to robin@joinmytrip.com with the link. And then after the first trip mate has joined your trip, we will transfer the 30 euros to your bank account. And but also if you now super into that working remotely thing and you can't wait and you want to know a bit, maybe know a bit more about it, a bit more about other destinations besides the Algarve, feel free to join the co-working webinar that we will host it on May 26th, same time, same place. Where my colleague and I will show some more information about co-working. But yeah, I would say now, Kira, that's it. No tips from now. Although I would actually have a lot of more, but I think I have to shut up. It's time for me to shut up. But I might share some more in our open community round at the end where everyone can share their trips. So before we jump into the questions and answer part, I think we need the support of our audience, right, Kira?
Yes, exactly. Feedback is super important to us because this way we can get the idea of how to get an idea of how to keep improving our webinars in the future. So we prepared a short feedback form that can help us tremendously. If you take 1 minute of your time to fill it out, we'll post the link in the chat right now. And everyone that fills it out will receive the slides afterwards. And among all the people who gave feedback, you'll have the chance to win a voucher for 20 euros or $24 on the JoinMyTrip platform. So for your next trip booking, I think that's a really good deal. Click the link in the chat right now.
Yeah, definitely. And if we now made you curious about more destinations, we would recommend to register for our Thailand Inspiration webinar taking place 2 weeks from now. And our beloved colleague Jasmine actually is from Thailand, and she has some amazing insider tips. So when having tips from a local is, I think, always the best. So yeah, if you want to sign up for it, as always, it's for free. And I think Jasmine is happy about any guests that she will have in her webinar.
Jasmine also wrote a blog post about Thailand about last week, and she has an amazing itinerary there. So check that out so you can ask all your questions at the webinar.
Yes, and now we need your attention again. I mean, not that we didn't have it before, but more attention than before, because 2 weeks after Thailand, our next travel inspiration webinar will take place, and it will be a country of your choice. So we now have 5 countries for you to pick from, and my colleague Robin will now start the poll for 30 seconds. So let's see where we are going after Thailand.
Drum roll, please.
Okay, and where is our little poll? There we go. This is the wrong poll. Let's see. Okay. I think we might not do the poll today. So I think we will, have a little poll tomorrow morning in our stand-up to see. Oh, there we go, our poll.
There we go.
Okay, now you can pick which country we are going next. To be honest, I would love to do it with for Lebanon, because I always wanted to go.
And we have some experts on our team for Lebanon.
We have 2 locals, 3 locals.
Or also Australia. We have a couple of people that have been to Australia. We have an Australian native. So
that's an international team. Wow.
Yeah. Ooh.
Okay. All right. I think we are done. So it's okay. Now we have 3 winners. Okay. It's okay. 10, 9. If not, Kira, you can pick.
Oh, now we have to choose.
Okay, you choose. Is it Vietnam, Spain, or Australia? What do you want?
I'm gonna do Australia.
Okay, Australia it is. All right, Kira decided. So, no, it's actually Spain. No, Kira decided. It's gonna be Australia. So we're traveling to Australia next. Looking forward. Nice. Cool. So, after this webinar, we also have on May 19th, we have our How to Travel Safely this summer webinar. We also have a co-learn and travel webinar where you can learn how to make the most of your trip, not just by traveling, but also on learning a new skill, which I think is super exciting. And also, as we already mentioned, we have our vacation event. So my colleague will share a link where you can just click on it and sign up for all the webinars in case you like this one. They're all fun and all talking about something different. So I think that's it. So Kira, I think now really it's over. We have talked a lot, and we do have an amazing content team producing incredible content every day with unique travel tips. So make sure to check that out. Have an amazing day ahead for the guys and the girls living in Canada and the US, and have a great night for all the European people listening. And see you guys tomorrow in our Trip Leader webinar, I would say. And have a good evening. Okay, bye-bye, guys.
Bye, guys. It was great having you.